I'm just going to leave this here for a sec. I drink my water and let you percolate on this. Well, now that I've ruined everybody's morning, what's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all the nerds across the world? It is I, the man who dares to go into the deepest depths of tabletop role-playing game news to bring the stories you didn't know about or care about to your door. And it's Monday, which means it's time to take a look at what Wizards of the Coast is up to. How are we going to chart our week of stupid from the never-ending fountain of WTF that is Hasbro in regards to D&D? And our top story is this. Mighty Owlbear Beard Oil. Official Dungeons & Dragons Owlbear Beard Oil from Beard Sorcery. Maker of beard-related, and I guess other things, but this is their main thing, is that they somehow have got the rights to make a D&D themed beard oil. Not hair oil, not body oil, specifically beard oil for those men and ladies out there who have beards, because remember, we want to perpetuate the myth that all the people that play D&D are fat, pale, neckbeard white men who need to get out of the hobby. Yes, because this is what everybody has been crying for an official Dungeons & Dragons themed product. Because, you know, all those people who said Hasbro would never do something that bad, after Hasbro said specifically, we do not think D&D is monetized enough, merchandised enough, so we're going to dedicate the next, 5 years, because 2027, to try and tag the D&D product to anything we can think of to further promote the idea that D&D is a lifestyle brand, no longer a game. And now I will be the first to say, sell out merchandise. That's where the real money is. Even I never thought this would exist. And I would love the people out there who talk about GYGAX and Wizards of the Coast and rules as written to explain this to me, to explain to me how this is a logical step in the evolution of the hobby. And this embraces the dream of the golden lifestyle engine that is Dungeons & Dragons, the secret lifestyle engine that Gygax hid in the pages of 5e, and how this monstrosity of a monstrosity, Mighty Owlbear Beard Oil. Now, I don't know if you've ever spelled a bear or an owl. I don't know if you've ever been to the zoo and walked by the bear cage or gone through the aviary and seen owls. But yeah, when you think things I want to be smelled like and recognized by, smelling like a bear or smelling like an owl are probably not the top of your list. I mean, I suppose it's better than smelling like a skunk, but this exists, and the world is better for it, right? Right? All right, moving on to other Wizards of the Coast dumb. They have released the results to the Druid and Paladin playtest from last month. That was the second to last of the playtest package that they put out for 1D&D. The last one, oh wait, no it's not, being the most recent one. They've recently put up the survey for that. This is the results to the survey for the previous one, Druid and Paladin. And the general results were Paladin, meh. It's not like anybody plays the class anyways. Usually multi-class and with the Warlock. Or other charisma-based casters. Yeah. So Paladins has remained mostly the same. A few minor changes, but basically, as far as the reviews were concerned in regards to our Paladins are holy warriors, the supermen of D&D, the epitome of everything that is lawful and good and just in the world of D&D, have now been reduced to, meh, I guess I'll play it because nobody else wants to, but I'm going to multi-class it with that other class. Yeah. On the other hand, druids were so universally looked upon with negative response that they've announced a brand new playtest, even after saying, well, no, this one's it, because they were so unsatisfied with the results. Apparently, as usual with Wizards of the Coast, they gave people what they thought people wanted instead of actually listening to people after Owlbear Gate, because the druid in the trailer for the Dungeons and Dragons movie could turn into an owlbear, and nobody could find a logical reason in the rules why a Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition tiefling druid could turn into an owlbear, because we have no imagination. It became huge. It became so huge that not only did they have to change things in the movie, but Wizards of the Coast had to release a brand new version of the druid that explained how she could turn into an owlbear. And they expected everybody to go, oh yeah, thank you. This is what I wanted. Nope. The exact opposite happened. And in fact, the results of the playtest are pretty much, no, we like the Moon Druid build better, because tank bear druids are not so 1990s Diablo that we're tired of them. And Owlbear Gate was only a thing because you made it a thing, Wizards of the Coast. Really, the people that matter didn't care because we knew it was a game, it was a movie, and magic. Who the fuck cares that she can turn into an owlbear? There's no difference. Well, Wizards of the Coast heard that and went, okay, well, we're going to give you what you want. Turns out, no, in fact, that's not what people wanted. They wanted the other thing. So now Wizards of the Coast, instead of making the last playtest has said, we're going to do a new one. And we're going to do the druid again, because apparently you didn't like the druid. So we're going to change it again. And hopefully, eventually, you will tell us what we want to hear. So we present to you the 6th edition Dungeons & Dragons in 2024 that we think you want. Now, you might be saying, oh, GGM, you don't know what you're talking about. But I can tell you from personal experience, because I play tested D&D Next version 1, D&D Next version 2, and D&D Next version 3, that 5th edition finally came out, looked absolutely nothing like the 3rd and final playtest for D&D Next. So, yeah, they might listen to us, but they don't pay attention to us. Speaking of not paying attention, Wizards of the Coast has announced they're going to be doing another Dungeons & Dragons cookbook, because the first one did so well. They're now releasing a new one that's going to have 72 new themed recipes built around D&D. These exist for pretty much any IP. If you look hard enough, you can find a Witcher, Game of Thrones, Star Trek, Call of Cthulhu cookbook. The recipes are usually generally the same, because all they do is they find a generally easily approachable, not offensive recipe like bacon and eggs. They show you how to make it, and then they come up with a story or something that contributes to the lore. So you'll see a recipe for like chicken pot pie, and then it'll talk about how Drizzt or Elminster love Drizzt. Yeah, they're fine. I mean, if you want, they're great tabletop books. The art is always interesting. The recipes are generally easy to make and generally approachable. They tend to not address dietary issues in these things, but they do give you vegan recipes. And oh, yes. Speaking of Wizards of the Coast, hey, remember this movie? This disaster of a movie? This multi-billion-dollar franchise starter movie that over the weekend made an unprecedented, besides still being in 51 theaters and being available for $20 to rent on Amazon, or available for free if you're one of the 5 people on the planet that have Paramount Plus. This movie made a record $300 over the weekend. $300 over the weekend. Well, somebody asked me a couple days ago, when is this going to be available on DVD? Well, it's going to be available on DVD on the end of the month. And what is it going to feature? It's going to feature bonus features, tons of behind-the-scene featurettes. Even though these tons of behind-the-scene featurettes have already been made available on the YouTube, you can now see them on the DVD. You can see them for free on the YouTube, but you can see them on the DVD. They're also going to have things about how they did the effects, how they did the stunts, how they did the mocap, how they designed the completely not correct costumes and weapons and more. There'll be 8 to 10 deleted scenes because, of course, there were. Because remember, there's been 2 versions of this movie, if not more, as well as extras focusing on other things like backgrounds. It'll be available for $19 normal DVD, $25 for the Blu-ray DVD. Blu-ray is still being a theme. And $30 being for the ultra high def 4K Blu-ray. If you're one of the people that still use Dungeons DVDs, if you're one of the people who still has a Blu-ray player and doesn't just watch their DVDs on their computer, but actually has the ultra high def 4K Blu-ray. God, I remember when Blu-ray was the thing. People are like, oh, this is it. This is the epitome of technology. Digital video technology will never get better. And computers went, hold my beer. But there are still people out there who collect Blu-ray. There might still people out there who have actual home theaters and have ultra 4K Blu-rays. I used to install those things and might want to spend $30 on the DVD for this to get a whole bunch of behind the scenes footage, because how else do we justify making this a DVD and charging you $20? Because Lord knows we're hoping the behind the scenes featurettes are going to make this more exciting, including how we did the stunts and the practical effects and the references, in case, we didn't shove the Easter eggs down your throat enough. The DVD. So for the person who asked me when this was coming out, May 30th, just in time for Memorial. Oh no, it'll be out after Memorial Day, just in time for Gen Con. Just in time for Wizards of the Coast to try and milk the last bit of money on this movie that was supposed to make $3 billion and jumpstart a franchise and be bigger than the MCU. It's already become a joke. So much of a joke that even though it was on Amazon on May 3rd, they didn't tell anybody about it to May 8th. And they're still not really advertising it. Of course, why should they have to? Because it's on Paramount. Oh, no, boy, Paramount Plus is really advertising the heck of it. In fact, I can tell you how many times I've seen ads for this on the TV while watching TV for Paramount Plus, showing that they can have the Dungeons and Dragons Honor Amongst Thieves movies for free. Now, if any of the special stuff, you still got to pay for that, except, of course, for the fact that it's available for free on the Paramount Plus portal YouTube site. Want to know how many ads for this I've seen since it went live on Paramount? None. I would feel bad. About poking holes, continuing to drive a dagger into the heart of Wizards of the Coast. I would feel bad, but I don't. Because I knew in August this movie was going to fail. The rest of the world jumped on this movie sucks bandwagon in July. But the very first day of San Diego Comic Book Con, when they dragged out, stoned out of his brain, male lead who looked like he'd just been taken off the beach with his long blonde hair and his open shirt and his glazy eyes, and he says, yeah, this movie's going to be funnier than Holy Grail. And I was like, yeah, this movie's going to suck because you don't understand what the hobby's about. See, if you tell us it's funny, and if you tell us where the Easter eggs are, it ruins it, and it makes it not funny, and we already know where the Easter eggs are. See? Now, if we can compare this to the other movie that is this basically the same thing that, made $35 million over its opening first day, Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy never tells us where the Easter eggs are. And Guardians of the Galaxy never told us this is what's going to be funny, and this is why Peter Quill is the way he is. They just allowed us to dip our toes into the world and take as much or as little away from it as we wanted. These guys did the exact opposite. And thus the movie made 3 billion. Nope. 2 billion. Nope. 1 billion. Nope. 100 million. Nope. 90 million. No. 80 million. No. How much did it make over the weekend? Oh yeah, $300. It made $300 over the weekend. Are you excited about that? Are you all caught up in the Wizards of the Coast news? And I know that you, or each and every one of you, are running out right now to your beard oil shop of choice to pick up the Dungeons and Dragons Owlbear Beard Oil, because Hasbro and their infinite genius said, well, remember when we said we have to merchandise the fuck out of D&D because it's a lifestyle brand? And yeah, we've already done t-shirts. We've already done action figures. What else is there? Lunchboxes? No. Breakfast cereal? No. Stickers? No. Coloring books? No. A TV show? No. Comic books? No. Cell phone cases? No. A computer? No. Tie-ins with foods, like when we did those Hostess snack pies? No. Digital download backgrounds and stickers? No. Oh, well, okay, then what should we tie in the D&D in with to? Oh, I know, Happy Meals. No. You know what I think would work? Beard oil. Beard oil. Yeah, because all our female players are going to appreciate D&D themed beard oil. That's the first thing that comes to our mind. And all our players all over the world who don't have beards, especially like all the kids we're trying to gear the hobby towards, definitely that's the first thing that comes up. 12-year-old D&D player, first thing he thinks when he wakes up in the morning is not how excited he is about playing his character. Nope, it's like, I cannot wait till I can grow a beard so I can get my D&D themed beard oil. Nobody wanted this, Hasbro. Even people with beards are going, I do not want this. Do they have 5 years at this rate? Well, according to some people, sure, Wizards of the Coast is fine. And I don't know what I'm talking about. Nowhere did Hasbro ever say that they had till 2027 to make $1 billion every year. You were just making up stuff, OGGM, to try and cause controversy. Blah, 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 blah. You don't know what you're talking about. Fine, whatever. You don't have to believe me. I mean, it's not like they literally told you over and over and over. And at this point, I think it's pretty obvious that Hasbro's ideas for Wizards of the Coast is, here, take this rope. See what happens. We'll check in on you at the end of the year when you give us $1 billion. And if you don't, well, you got 2024, 2025, 2026, and up to June 2027. It's not like it doesn't say on our calendar, June 27th, 2027, Dungeons and Dragons 6X. It's not like that's there. Do they have 5 years? Well, there's a couple things in the pike that could let us know. Obviously, will Daggerheart, the literal dagger into the heart of Wizards of the Coast, be successful? If it is, then yep, they don't. That's going to be huge if it is. If it's not, well, it's not. I don't think they're going to go back to Wizards of the Coast, because I don't think Wizards of the Coast can offer them what Amazon's offering them. But that's the topic for a whole separate vlog, which I may or may not get into. That is all your tabletop role-playing game Wizards of the Coast news. I know you're all excited to take a break so you can get the D&D beard oil or the D&D cookbook. But I want to just thank each and every one of you for taking a moment to like, share, subscribe, and buying my merch, which is now available on Big Geek Emporium, but soon exclusively only available on my Patreon. That is all the tabletop role-playing game news regarding Wizards of the Coast I can shove down your throats in under 20 minutes. Till next time, drive carefully because it's raining, at least where I live, and I will see you. Now get off!